Welcome, JDs and Lents, to the first ever Froastland Awards. I'm your host, the lady with the most, the tench to the Froast, and we're taking a look back at the best games I played on this channel in 2018. Since this is my first annual adulation of interactive originations, games I played before 2018 are also considerations. Games I featured in Toast Bites aren't eligible to win, since those are like mini awards themselves, so I'm showing some of my favorites here in the intro instead. And if you're wondering why my picks don't include some of the AAA stars and indie darlings that swept the gaming community by storm, it's because I didn't play them on my channel, and that's what this is about. So, before we get to my awards, let's say hello to all the games you've loved before. Celeste. A Way Out. Spider-Man. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. God of War. Hitman 2. Grease. Monster Hunter World. The Return of the Obra Dinn. And last but not least, because it's everyone's most, I Have a Plan, aka Red Dead Redemption 2, subtitled Lenny! - Oh, Arthur. Now you get the idea. There were tons of fantastic titles out there. 2018 truly was a great year for gaming. But now, let's get to the awards. Jumping into the first category, we have the most cinematic. Games that give me those good old movie feels through art direction, music composition, character arcs, or story, regardless of genre. And while Yesterday Origins, Virginia, and Grey Dawn certainly had their moments that spoke to my moviegoer gut, the award for most cinematic game goes to Silence.
You may never return, nor shall you ever wake up. The shard shall shine, and silence will break.
Can you save me?
Next, we have the award for Best Presentation. And these are games with a simple idea that could have been explored in any number of ways, yet the developers chose the most impactful, unexpected, or transformative. Do You Copy, A Raven Monologue, Gondola, The Cave, He Beat Her, Shattered, and A Walk in the Park all had a pretty special take on how to deliver their stories. But the award for Best Presentation goes to The Grandfather Machine. The next category is one of my favorites, and that's Best World Building. And this is the game that did the best job through its mechanics, story, or environment of building a fleshed out world in my head. And if I hadn't excluded Toast Bites, this likely would have gone to In Other Waters. The Tower at Tortenna, The Cursed Forest, Yesterday Origins, Unforgiving a Northern Hem, Glitched, and the Norwood Suite are all fierce competition, but the award for Best World Building goes to Albino Lullaby. Next up, we have the award for Most Beautiful Game. And this is for the game I found the loveliest to look at and play, regardless of style or graphical quality. I enjoyed the aesthetic of games like Silence, Shattered, and You Left Me, but I was so taken with the two remaining nominees that I almost called a tie. So, the award for Most Beautiful Game goes to NIVA, with an honorable mention for Sceal. That takes us to the next award for the most stylish game. Now these are the games with a look and feel unique enough to stand out, but also distinct enough to be recognizable in the developer's other works. Games that capitalize on style to tell their story or present their mechanics in a fresh and compelling way. Renoir, Shadow of Naught, Metropolis Lux Obscura, Yesterday Origins, Rainswept, and Sceal all have purposeful styles that accentuate their gameplay. But only one game felt like its style was inseparable from its very existence, and frankly, it was downright dope. And the award for the most stylish game goes to You Left Me. Next, we have the game with the best music. Original compositions that enhance the gameplay experience in a cohesive and meaningful way, which can be an entire soundtrack or a single song. With toe spikes excluded, games like Inked and Spectrum Break are out, and while Glitched, Neon Code, and NIVA all serve up a tasty feast for the ears, the award for best music goes to Silence, with Sceal earning another honorable mention. Moving on, we have the game with the best mechanics. Gameplay elements I've either never seen before or have never seen done this well that were delightfully clever or brilliantly useful in ways that felt relevant and new. VHS, Renoir, Typo Man Revised, The Cave, Inch by Inch, Tape, and one-hand clapping all had intriguing mechanics woven into their gameplay. But the award for best mechanics goes to A Case for Watson. Up next is the award for Best Atmosphere, and while genre is irrelevant, horror games may have a slight advantage in this category given that atmosphere is such a pivotal component of eliciting fear. Echo, Unforgiving a Northern Hem, Late Night Wanderer, The Cursed Forest, and Albino Lullaby all do a wonderful job through sound and environmental storytelling of creating a palpable vibe, but the award for Best Atmosphere goes to Do You Copy?
I saw this channel listed on one of the trails out here. I need you to help me. I'm lost and something is chasing me. Please, you have to help me. Yes, okay. I see them. I'm gonna come to you. Thank you. Run. Now. You're going to die out here.
Next, we have the game with the best premise. And these are games that surprised or intrigued me with their core idea, independent of the mechanics, yet that took advantage of their mechanics to elevate the idea. Inch by Inch, The Missing Parts of Maria Gwozdek, The Cave, The Grandfather Machine, and Ambassador were all fun and interesting titles with a clever concept. But the award for Best Premise goes to the horror game Pamali. The next category is Best Experience. And these are games that pulled me in while playing them and stuck with me long after. The Tower at Tortena, Rainswept, The Cursed Forest, Grey Dawn, and The Grandfather Machine all left an impression on me with their visuals and story. But the award for Best Experience goes to A Walk in the Park.
Look, Charlie. I know what happened is... Oh, bollocks. Look, I want to talk to you about it. I want us to talk about it. But I don't know what to say. I don't even know how to start. Is this working? I mean, is it helping? I wanted to be with you, obviously, but then I'd have had some explaining to do.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
As a writer who constantly harps on storytelling, I of course want to include a category for Best Narrative, but there were so many games I didn't finish that I unfortunately can't choose a winner for this award this time around. Of the stories I did complete, one of my favorites was definitely The Cave, which you can take with a grain of salt considering it was technically multiple stories blended into one. Now before we get to my game of the year, let's blast through the winners of some genre-specific categories and freeform categories that will change with every show. Best Visual Novel, Cinderella Phenomenon. Best Point and Click, Alluvium. Best RPG, Glitched. Best Open World RPG, My Time at Portia. Best Adventure Game, Downward. Best Horror Game, Unforgiving: A Northern Hem. Best Puzzle Game, Puppet Master. Weirdest Game, I Came to Forget My Daily Life. Most Zen Game, Seed of Life. And Purest Fun, Unbox. Finally, we've come to the top banana, the best game I played on my channel in 2018. I've never been good at picking a general favorite, not with food or movies or songs or anything, so I honestly can't say I won't change my mind about this, or that I even agree with myself. I can't even say my pick will actually be a good game as far as games go, but right now, looking back at all the full games and demos I thoroughly enjoyed, the Norwood Suite, the Cursed Forest, Glitched, Grey Dawn, Neon Code, A Case for Watson, Close Your Eyes, One Hand Clapping, and Unforgiving: A Northern Hem, the award for the toastiest game of 2018 goes to Rainswept. Now, it may seem weird that a game that didn't win in any other category won the whole shibizzy, but sometimes a game just has something going for it across the board. Rainswept wasn't the best of any one thing in particular, but as a whole, it struck the right chords with me, and I can't wait until its full release. So that's it for this year's Froastland Awards. Think of it less like a definitive ranking of greatness, and more as my gaming year in review. Thank you to all the developers out there who brought joy to this little gamer's heart. And here's to another fantastic year of electronic entertainment.